Hello, welcome to another episode of Noise Pollution. This is Bobby Vibes. It is, what time are we on? It is 14 minutes past 14 on the 28th of March 2023. I'm in the studio with my good buddy Tommy.
Oh,
how are you, mate?
hello, lad. I'm great, thanks.
So the last time I've got you doubled up there. Last time I saw you was in the Florrie.
Oh, yeah. My other woman.
The Florence Institute, and I just thought it'd be nice to catch up with you again, get you around the studio. This is the professional shot.
Oh, mate, this is amazing. What's this?
How lovely was this?
This was one of the most amazing moments of my year so far.
I was so pleased that I got involved. I was kind of... it was a bit of slightly stressful, to be honest. I was slightly scared because I've got to take all my equipment, but I was so pleased. It was brilliant to help Timon yourself out. But let's just do a couple of minutes of this guitar, and I really loved it. It was borderline sort of magical. I mean, probably fully magical, actually.
1, 2, 3, 4, and...
197 guitar players.
Yes.
In there.
He was aiming for 100.
I was, but before the show, he was a bit unsure whether we'd get the full numbers or not.
I know, he was worried that he'd even get the 100. Isn't that amazing?
It was really cute, mate.
It was incredible, man.
So everything works out. I think you've just got to... It's the same with Noise Pollution. It's the same with anything. You've just got to show up. You've just got to enjoy what you do.
Yeah.
And hopefully that magnetises people.
Get on this. Mate, there's Lee, king of the dingle. There's me, there's Nibs. And I am holding the lyrics sheet there, yeah? And you might think, that's one of the best known songs in the world. So why do you need to see the lyrics? But I will say this, the more well known the song is, the more you can fuck it up.
Yeah,
know what I mean?
The more you can pronunciate your...
Yeah, like for example, I was singing All You Need Is Love at the Secret Garden party last year.
Oh, yeah.
With a band, yeah. But they just chopped out a couple of lines, yeah.
So some reason. Threw you a little bit.
And it threw me. And anyway, so that's one of the best known songs. And I know the song back to front, and I fucked it up. And it's All You Need Is Love. And I turned around, and I knew as soon as I started to sing it, I turned around and I looked at the band, and they all had that look in the eye of, yeah, you're the man, you're the one who fucked it up. So yeah. And in this one, though, but what a feeling. And you're right, the word is magical, Rob.
It was lovely. Let's give another little props. How can people support this? Is it just
go on the Florrie. Well, you can support it this weekend, for example, if you're listening to Noise Pollution before April the 1st, this Saturday,
right?
Because they're putting on Food Aid.
So
right. Food Aid is this. They've got 4 stages.
Do you reckon it'll be on the Florrie website?
Definitely will be.
Pull that up for peeps.
For sure, man, for sure. Because you can support this. I would just say this, people, that the Florrie is one of those causes in the city and in the world, I feel, that is just worthy of your support, however times are hard, because it supports us, it supports so many people in so many ways. It's an absolute inspiration, and Food Aid in particular is a great example of that. So they're putting on a load of cover bands of some of the greatest cover bands in the country, in Europe, in fact. They're also putting on a slate of all local bands, which they do all the time. All the money raised will go to all the food banks and the food unions, because Florrie's idea is not to have a food bank, which they have a food union instead. Food unions,
where
you pay a little bit of dough and you get much more. You pay a £5 a month or whatever, and you get 30 quid's worth of groceries, and that changes the balance, I think, of power and dignity in terms of the donor and the recipient, because I think that's the problem with charity in general, isn't it? That it's a
there's like a kind of hierarchical
it is, yeah.
Or something,
and it's also dependent upon the largesse of the donor. If they don't feel like giving, then that need isn't met.
And it can inflate the ego of the donor or something.
It can become an ego people thing. Do it. In fact, Liverpool's dominated by it, isn't it? We've got all these fine buildings, people wanting to kind of art wash themselves and make themselves look great in the city because they made the money on the backs of some very horrible enterprises.
Yeah,
you know?
right.
We built this city, and we didn't just do it on rock and roll, Rob.
Right. You know, it's one of them. It's so important, so complicated, it's so important. But that's an interesting way to sort of frame it. Is like the people were sort of what's the word? Art washing. I've not heard that. That's class.
Charity. You know, make yourself look good by being a philanthropist. But the Florrie, so anyway, it's feeding people this event is what I would say to people. So it's art with a purpose. It's practicalities now. It's survival stakes out there right now, Rob, isn't it? Let's be straight. It's 2023, and people are in dire straits, and the screw is on everybody at the moment. And I think that what we need to do is we need to follow these kind of examples. It's not just the Florrie. There's loads of examples in the city of communities coming together.
What's that place up by Kenny? It had like they do like a food union, food bank. I think was what they say, but it's up by the Royal. I watched the documentary.
Yeah, that's right. I saw that as well. Yeah, Kenny Fields. Yeah, that was a great documentary as well, wasn't it?
That was just like power. I really enjoyed that. But
see, that's what we're all about. You know, it's that spirit of Arthur Dooley. You know, I always return to because I'm obsessed with the man. But that spirit of Dooley, which is like it's a practical socialism that's actually existing. You know, you don't need to wait for policymakers to declare it. You actually live it. You're the example of it. You support people in your environment and people around the world. You know, that's what people here do. I'm not just here. I'm not making a Scouse exceptionalism kind of boast. But the spirit of Dooley kind of exemplifies the spirit of the city, in my opinion. So
there's a trail. You just bought the pamphlet for me, mate.
Yeah, I did. For sure.
Is this something you worked on?
No. This is my good friend Jen Allenson, who's in the Liverpool Arts Lab with us, and Dave Airfella worked on this. This was done by the Liverpool Academy of Arts, which used to be in Seal Street, and again the loss of the Liverpool Academy of Arts is just another example of the erosion of culture in the town. You know, I was mentioning before that I think that Liverpool should be twinned with Pottersville from It's a Wonderful Life, you know.
Right.
Yeah, in the universe next door, Bedford Falls becomes this horrendous gin joint of dancing girls where everyone's cruel to one another.
Right.
And that sounds like Liverpool on a Saturday night, you know, to an extent. I don't want to sound like an old curmudgeon now. But yeah, getting on to Arthur Dooley. So they published this...
I'll do a little zoom for you, mate.
This is a sculpture trail that they published in 2008. One of the few examples in that year of genuine Liverpool culture being put on a pedestal and celebrated. So it's over 20 sites. Arthur Dooley, if you don't know, was a sculptor. He was born in 1929, died in 1994. This is a map of the city centre, if you can zoom in on this.
Oh, no, got you. Let me just... Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, which shows you 20 sites. We know, where are we? We've got everywhere. This is what I mean. Arthur's work saturates the city like no other artist. Yeah, to go on the sculpture trail of Arthur Dooley is to learn the history and culture and heritage of this town.
It's spectacular, mate. It's so just some of the highlights. Where does it start? Starts at the Albert Dock.
Yeah, starts at the Albert Dock, which Arthur helped to save, and you showed the noise pollution crew.
That was how I managed to re-energize. Basically, this whole thing has been re-energized by Arthur Dooley.
Hey, you see, that's because he's a mystical character. He's like a prophet. I often say he's a prophet because when you see him in the Albert Dock, in the ruins of the Albert Dock, and he's saying, you know, if only the city fathers gave us the resources, we can fix this. And people would flood in from all over Europe, all over the world to see this, the great seaport, you know, and how true is that? And he points and he points at the Albert Dock, he says, you could have a maritime museum there. And there's where the maritime museum's going to be. But, and apparently when the city put in the planning application to demolish the Albert Dock, let's not forget.
Wow.
Yeah?
Heseltine
Don't forget,
and all that.
The greatest collection of Grade 1 listed buildings anywhere in the country. Yeah. That's the heart of Liverpool's economy and heritage in a lot of ways. It's our shop window. Liverpool were going to put it, the core people were going to turn it into a car park. When Arthur heard about that, he went down and chained himself to the railings, got the media involved. And when Heseltine came to the city following the Toxteth uprisings in 81, Arthur buttonholed him and said, the key to Liverpool's salvation is the Albert Dock. Yeah, and how true it was. Except it didn't come to it came to pass, but not on terms that he would have liked, because it's for the tourists who were happy to pay £3.50 for a cup of coffee, and there's nothing there in the main for local people, which I often find. I think that's a great shame.
That's the importance of the importance of the arts, isn't it? It kind of gives you this big picture about what we're actually here to do. Is there's some if you get kind of just too immersed in just like the the sort of the rat race of life, you kind of lose sight, and then you wake up one day just being a bit kind of confused. But Arthur Dooley was pretty on it the whole time.
He was on it, man. So there's just a whistle stop tour, yeah. So from the Albert Dock, which he helped to save, you head to the pier head where the speaker's platform used to be. Yeah, where all the demos used to start and end.
That he developed like a
the speaker's platform there. If you focus on
Go
that.
on, let me have a zoom.
Yeah.
What happened to that?
Well, that's a great example of, again, the city just throwing away its own heritage. It was taken down in the refurbishment of the pier head, and then it rusted away in a council yard in Croxteth Park.
Wow.
It's gone to the great scrap heap in the sky. So it's a crying shame, but we're writing on the wall, did a kind of a homage to it, yeah, with the son of the guy who made the original platform with Arthur.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was amazing, like with the soundscape. You could include a link to this, maybe.
Go on, yeah, let's...
writing on the wall, because it was really interesting how they interpreted it, but the problem was you couldn't stand on it. It didn't elevate you.
Right.
Because of modern health and safety. The way they did it, it was a homage to the piece, but it lost the essence of the piece.
Right.
Because the essence of the piece was to provide a platform for local people to raise their voices.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Oh, bless.
So they nodded the hat to it, and fair play to them for doing that.
Yeah.
But they just miss out on that ability to, as I say, to raise and elevate people, which is what Arthur's art is all about. Then if you go to the St. Nick's, the original parish church of the city, you'll see a work that's really beautiful and really out of character with Arthur in a lot of ways. Because
I'm getting a tight zoom on that now.
It's highly polished, and it's this one. It's called Maria del Key.
Wow, I love the aesthetic of it and how sort of smooth it looks.
Yeah, absolutely. So Arthur's work is mostly gnarly and it looks unfinished, but every now and again with his bulls or with his woman with dog and things like this, he did do a highly polished version. And then Whistling Around the City, I mean, this one tells a story, kidder. 1974, 4 lads who shook the world.
Oh, that's huge. The Matthew Street Madonna.
The Matthew Street Madonna, absolutely that. So this piece is revolutionary again and caused controversy at the time because it mixes secular themes with religious themes. Yeah? So he's got the Madonna, but with these babies in their arms. And then the cherub over here, which you can't see on this picture. Yeah? With the cherub with Lennon Lives on the halo.
Wow.
Which used to be Paul. The cherub used to be Paul, as a pun on him leaving the Beatles to form Wings.
Wow.
Yeah, and that statue, that cherub was stolen, and is its whereabouts are unknown.
Wow.
So that's a little mystery for you. Where's Macca's cherub? But this is interesting. 1974, when the planning application went in, Pete Price, the DJ, paid for this to go in.
Did he?
Yeah. And it's an incredible work. I mean, if you look at it, first of all, Arthur calls it Beetle Street. Yeah. How prescient is that? This is 1974 when actually Liverpool City Council, I think, I'm told, when they got the planning application for the statue, someone in the corp, he said, "What have the Beatles ever done for Liverpool?"
In 74.
In 74. So they were a busted flush by then, weren't they? And they were widely perceived locally as to have left the city and abandoned us, and created nothing. So there was no real appreciation. So this is the first Beatles statue, and it predicts Matthew Street's future as Beetle Street. It's also a reference to the Russian novel 10 Days That Shook the World, about the Russian Revolution. Because Arthur was
4 lads who shook the world.
10 Days 10 Days That Shook the World, which I can't remember the name of the author now. No doubt you'll find out. But it's a reference to that. Arthur was a devoted communist as well as a devoted Catholic as well. In the Walker Art Gallery, you see his Centurions, which is a great motif that Arthur has, which is his comments on fascism.
John Reed.
One of his comments on fascism. John Reed, there you go, thank you. Yeah, that's excellent, man.
Hey, we've done 15 minutes, mate. So I just wanted to have a time. I love hanging out with you. Time flies. Thank you so much for just
to be continued.
Yeah, I think we could do this a bit more often. But let's not count our chickens. Thank you so much, Tommy, for joining us.
You're more than welcome, La.
And Arthur Dooley, go and check him out. The Florrie Food Day the 1st of April.
Yes.
And go and drop in. It's just such a vibey place.
Yes, it is. Support the Florrie, man. God save the Florrie.
Let me get a zoom on that. God save the flaws. Love you guys. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Yeah, man. Thank you.